In this video, we will see how to create a cloth simulation. Here, we will start with simulations here for the first time. So you have little things to understand before starting simulations in Blender, where to find the options. And basically, you have two places for that. You have here into the Scene tab, you can find some gravity here. So it's an important value because by default, it's the Earth's gravity. Okay, so you can play with this or even remove gravity in some cases. Maybe we will see that later. And here you have the simulation here if you want to range the simulation in case. And here the rigid body world, it's when you use rigid bodies, and it will be the third video of this chapter. Here you have another tab that is important, is the physics tab. Okay, so it's here that you tell this object, for example, could be a fluid or a rigid body or a cloth or a dynamic paint. We will not see all these options. It would require an entire course, but already the most important ones, at least the rigid body, the cloth, and the particles. Okay, and even here you have a third one that are simulations as well. It's the particles here, especially dynamic particles. You can use particles to create some hairs or some furs or things like that, but you can create some particles to make some dust in the air, or to make some sparkles, or to make maybe asteroid fields or things like that. And that's what we will do in the next video, an asteroid field with their settings here. So this is more specific, and we will see that in the second video. First of all, let's see how to work basically with two objects with the cloth simulation. Okay, with the cloth simulation. So here, what we will do, we'll just add a simple mesh UV sphere to have something more interesting than a cube, and in terms of shape. And here we will add a plane just above it with GZ like that. Okay, so here I can tell my plane to be a cloth. Okay, and as I want, if I just play the simulation now, okay, it will just tell that this plane is a cloth, and so it's influenced by gravity, so it goes down. But as you can see, it goes across this sphere here. So here it goes across because I didn't tell the simulation to be this, okay, a collision. Good. And now, and you can see that it doesn't have the shape of cloth that we want. So why that? Because we don't have enough subdivision into that mesh here. Because if you have only 4 vertices, it will not affect, it cannot affect the shape of this object. Okay, so what we will do, we'll just go into edit mode and make a subdivide a few times with Shift R just to add enough subdivision to work with. Okay, and now we play the simulation, and Blender will start to make something interesting finally. Good. So this already is a very good way to create new shapes and to make this in a static way. For example, if you want to put a curtain somewhere, or maybe a towel that you want to put on the wall or something like that, it's very easy to do just like this. And in the end, you have just a modifier here. As you can see, you have a modifier. And if I apply this as a shape key, we did C shape keys together already, we can see that now into the shape key tab, we have the cloth that I can transform basically directly like that. Okay, so like this, I can just have this shape if needed. More I add subdivisions into my settings. Okay, I come back to the cloth and I put back the cloth because I did apply it. Okay, so I will put back this. And if I increase the subdivision here, okay, again, I will have a better simulation, but this will take more, will start to make more time, to take more time here. Okay, what we can see is that we have here some strange here falls here. It's because it's over the mesh inside it. As you can see, it creates a loop over the mesh. So what you can do for remove this problem here is playing with the collisions here. You have the quality of the collisions and all these options. Here you can play with the self collision, okay? And if I put back here, you should have nothing strange now, because yeah, the object will not go through himself like this, okay? So now if I can make a shade smooth here, I will have something decent to play with, okay? So just to add some towers or things like that into your scene can be very easy. Or yeah, something on the bed or on a sofa, just to make it a little more realistic, it can work very well. You have different possibilities to play with this, okay? So here you see that you have some presets that are already made. So what we will do, just to see how it works, basically, we will come back into the beginning of the frame here of the animation, and we will duplicate these two objects into the x-axis, just like this, okay? And Shift R, Shift R, Shift R. Like this, we will have the 5 presets that I can show you directly. Here, I will put the preset cotton. Here, I will put the preset denim. Here, I will put the leather. And here, I will put the rubber. And here, the silk. And if we play this simulation here, you see that it takes already more time. But you see that you have really different interactions between the two objects, and the folds will be different. Here we can really see the rubber or things like that. So yeah, it's really effective to work directly with these presets. So here you can see that we have 5 different shapes, and it really depends on your scene and what you want to do. Sometimes more you subdivide the object, and more you have folds as well, so be careful with that. What we could do is make a little some little exercises with this, just to show you something a little different, not only just basic things like that. So let's say we would like to make a tent or something like this. What we can do, and first of all, I have to show you something before continue to the tent. Okay, so I will delete that. And there is here into the options, you can see that you have the shape here. And into the shape tab, you have the pin group. So what is a pin group? Basically, it says that the vertices that you will put into that group will not move. So let's say, for example, you have someone that take these vertices over there, and just to tell that you have a character that keep the tower, something like that. Okay, so let's go there and create a new vertex group. Okay, you just have to paint it. So you go into waypaint mode and you just paint over there. Okay, maybe here like this, and maybe here like this. Okay, so this vertex like this will not move now. I just have to come back into the options of the physics and go back here into the pin group and select the group. You can rename that group if needed. For example, you can call it pin group, or whatever name you want to put it, or to put at it. And now here you can find the pin group over there. Okay, so now if I play my animation, these vertices will not move. Okay, so it could be very simple with this technique to put a tower on the wall, for example. Let's say you want to do these kind of things. What you just have to do here, you just have to add, for example, here, I will just delete this group. Okay, I remove that one and I create a new one. I just go into weight paint, and maybe I will go there on top view here, and I will remove this one. I will just put these ones here, over here, okay? So now you put back this into the physics, don't forget it, or it will not work. And I will just move the sphere over there. Good. Now, what you can see is that after maybe a few, you just have to wait the right frame. Okay, let's say you have the frame that you like here, and you keep that one. And look at this. You put this on the wall, it looks perfect. Okay. So just to play with static objects works very well too. You can animate the other objects if needed. Like for example here, let's say you have this object that will be here. And that will be animated. So maybe I will put a key into that. So you can play with key animations as well. Okay. And let's say here, it will be there. And I insert a key. So now it will play directly with this and move the towel like this. Okay, so you can create really interesting shapes and really interesting animations. It will work. You can put some clothes into a character very easily like that, the same way. But now let's create the tent. So let's go with the tent. And here what we will have is just this kind of shape like this. Okay. So what we will do is create the shape of the tent. So I will just go into edit mode, add a loop over there, and with GZ make this kind of here. Okay, let's go for camping. And now we would like to add some subdivisions into that. So be careful to have only squares when you make the subdivisions as much as possible. So maybe, for example, here, it will need a subdivision of 2 over there and a subdivision of 4 to have something squarish. I will make the same here, okay, to have this kind. And now you can subdivide it finally to not have these stretch faces. And now just with right click and subdivide, I will have enough subdivision to work with, okay? So now I will just want to add more groups here, and it will be over there that I will play with that. So let's say you will have a group here. You can play with X symmetry if needed, like this. You don't have to paint the other side, just like so. Okay, here might be important as well. Another one here. Let's say we have a pillar over there. Okay, we have something good here, and we want something near here as well. Maybe this one's too big. Let's just go with the symmetry like this, and the same here. Good. So let's say we have these groups. Now we can play our simulation. So be careful of the here when you add the clothes. Okay. Be careful to just put the group into the pin group and just go with here the close system that you want, okay, the cross preset that you want. So you can play with that. Let's play with basic option over there. So we see that we have overlapping here. So what we can do, we just go into the collisions, enable self collisions. It might take a little more time. As you can see, it starts to work well. Okay, so basically we have the shape of the tent with the nice fold that we want, okay? Now if we just make a shade smooth on it and add some, maybe a modifier solidify here, just to have this little thickness, and we have it. So very easily to add objects like that. Let's play maybe with something more animated, because this might be a static object in the end. Maybe we can make a flag with that, okay, with that technique. So let's go with this. Just create a basic scene like a cylinder here. I will just add a cylinder with a very low radius, okay, and a big depth, okay. So let's create this. We might add maybe some toruses here, so to create the hooks. So I will go there and maybe put one here, and maybe put one here. Good. So now we have the basic shape that we want. Now we would like to add a plane. Good. So let's make a x 90 degrees, go into the right scale, or something near here might be good. Over there might be good as well. So I can scale this or just put it here with GX to have the shape of the flag that we want. Okay, so now as I told already, I need something more squarish, so I will subdivide by 2 here and by 1 here. Like this, I will have squares, and I can subdivide this mesh a few times, maybe until I have this kind of definition. I mean, you need to have enough definition to work with, so maybe I will just make a subdivision simple by selecting everything, and with Shift R it might be easier to go to the subdivision that I want. Something like that might be good. We will see that if we need to increase or decrease, but it should be okay. Now we can go into this section here, create a new vertex group, grow into here the weight paint mode, and just here add a red shape over there and add a red shape over there. What might work well in that project, for example, would be this. You could add another one here just to create the basic shape of another ring. So let's make a Shift D RX 90 degrees, scale it down a little, put it here. Okay, something like that. And we can make the same over there with Shift D Z and basically put it into the right place. So we'll have something like that. Let's go for this. Now I will go into the close simulation. Okay, create the self collision, create here the pin group into the shape, okay, and go back into the first frame that it might look better. So let's go there and see how it looks now. So you can see that you have basically something that will work. To make it a little better, what we might want to do, we might add some wind. And it's time to show you some new things with this, because you have some force fields here that you can play with. So you have some force, some wind, some vortex, some magnetic. You can play with all those things here to add more life to your simulations here. What I will do, I will just add some wind, okay? You can see it's a basic wind with a direction here. I can increase the strength of the wind, or I can just go and make the rotation look how I want. Like for example, I would like something that goes, yeah, let's say somewhere like that. And you have the options here into the physics tab, the strength of the wind. So directly I can go over 500, I would say, to have something really strong. And I can play after with the settings of the cloth here to have something lighter. So maybe we can play with the silk and see how it will look already. Might be not strong enough. We can see that we have a little wind, but it's really not strong. So maybe we'll multiply this by 10, 5,000. Okay. We start to see something that works well. Okay. And now look at this. You have a nice animation of a cloth, of a flag here directly. So you just have now to add a little image or a logo or whatever you want, and you can put really what you need into that. You can play with the flow here. The noise amount might create more interesting shapes as well. So if you play with, there's options here, might be interesting. I maybe will multiply by 2 again to have something really strong. Yeah, something like that will look better. I will select this object and make a shade smooth, and you will have basically what you want. Okay. So very easily, as you can see, you can create interesting things with this. As I said, even on animated objects or animated characters, it will work. But be careful. It might increase a lot the memory that you will use for this project. Okay. So that's it for creating interesting cloth simulations. We will continue for the next video and play with the particles. And for the particles, we will go into space and create a nice space scene with asteroid field.